Hello, I'm Angela.
And I'm Marie, the second half of this mother and daughter team.
Welcome to Chakra Checkups.
We're here to guide you on your quest for spiritual knowledge and enlightenment.
Okay. Thank you, Marie and Angela, for all of your work and wisdom on this podcast. And thank you for inviting me to share my love story. My romantic quest started at an early age. Around 12 years old, I started casting love spells on a boy in my class. In high school, my journals consisted mostly of manic rants about my unquenchable desire for a divine lover. And after one midnight viewing of Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, my heart was set on fire. True love was my only dream in life. But at the time, I was far from making this dream into a reality. In my teens and 20s, I suffered from extreme depression, anxiety, and PTSD that landed me in the psych ward on more than one occasion. I couldn't keep a boyfriend for more than a month, let alone maintain a lifelong partner. This was hardly a recipe for a love everlasting. After an arduous journey through the Western healthcare system, I realized that no one was going to heal me except for myself. So I ditched the shrinks and SSRIs and embarked on the spiritual path. I fell in love with the Western occult tradition and started performing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram daily, which completely transformed my life. For those of you who do not know, the LBRP is a type of visualization and meditation technique that calls down the archangels to purify your inner and outer space. I continued with rituals to peel the layers of toxic societal programming and trauma from my consciousness. I eventually landed in the Self-Realization Fellowship and studied Kriya Yoga meditation. The spiritual path slowly lifted me out of my rock bottom. The Indian yogi Paramahansa Yogananda once said, "First establish yourself irrevocably on the divine path, then if you marry, you won't make a mistake." I took these words very seriously. I pursued self-realization and communion with God as fervently as I once pursued a soulmate. Love, healing, romance, and spirituality began to occupy the same place in my heart. As I used ritual work to heal myself, I also created rituals in order to find a romantic partner. In 2017, I did a ritual to call in my soulmate. For the record, I now think the concept of a soulmate is misleading and inaccurate when calling in a partner. In any case, I asked the angels to guide me to my soulmate and to prepare me for this love. The angels took me from New York City to Los Angeles and then to a biodynamic goat ranch in rural Northern California near a small town where my husband was born and raised. In my tent cabin on the farm by candlelight, I made a list of what I wanted in a partner, which goes like this. My best friend, my teacher, my equal, my love. He is committed to discovering the truth. He is deeply spiritual, creative, courageous, open-minded, self-loving, and free. He challenges me to grow and expand spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. He loves me as deeply as I love him. He is loyal and yearns for a deep, meaningful soulmate relationship and is unaffected by non-spiritual sex. He sees love and light in all sentient beings. He loves children, animals, nature, and protects those who don't have a voice. He is beautiful inside and out. He is passionate and compassionate and at peace with himself. He is grounded and has a grounding presence in my life. He loves to worship the Divine Mother and sees the Divine Mother in me. He can make me laugh harder than anyone has made me laugh. He will play with me in childlike innocence. He draws power from the infinite energy of agape. He will inspire God in me. I made this list and meditated on my future partner, and in the weeks following, I got to meet my husband on the astral plane on several occasions. In one meditation, when I was feeling especially lonely, the angel showed me a bedroom with a blue and white printed duvet cover, which turned out to be the duvet cover we use today. I was holding a man that made me feel like I found home for the first time. The comfort I felt from this embrace, even on the astral, warmed me to my core. The second time I met my husband on the astral, I was doing a lot of Akashic Record meditations. This is an excerpt from my notes. Akashic Record Vision 3. I am led to a ladder. We climb very high to a stained glass window. We look out of the window and we see my giant auric butterfly form expelling energy upon the whole world. I am very large and energetically take up a huge amount of space. And next to me is an equally large man who has an energetically cooling effect on me. For I am very warm and he is very cool. He is grounded in a dark midnight sky blue. We are the god and goddess incarnate in form, so our lovemaking radiates throughout the world. Vision 4. My guides take me to the bottom shelf of a library and pull out a tiny pink book. The same man pops out of the book, followed by a bunch of hearts and butterflies. The man leaps into my arms and we kiss. He clings to me in a way that is deeply satiating. They tell me this is my partner and his energy is deeply complementary to mine. In a follow-up meditation, I asked the angels, how will I know when I've met my soulmate? And they said, trust me, honey, you will know. We will play trumpets and set off fireworks and send you undeniable signs that you found him. Just have faith. I first met Tim at a bar. He had a girlfriend and I was dating his friend. When we were first introduced, I saw a giant golden orb shining around his body. I was speechless. We continued to be friendly acquaintances in our small town. I thought he was magnificent, but since I mistakenly thought he had a girlfriend, I didn't think much about him. After a crushing breakup with the guy who I was dating, I settled on a self-induced monastic life. I swore I'd never date again and that the entire notion of a soulmate was total bullshit. I decided I'd become an SRF monk, marry God, and call it a day. Little did I know that the angels had something else in store for me. A quote from Robert Brault. Eventually, soulmates meet, for they have the same hiding place. On one fateful, stormy February afternoon in 2019, I was sitting in my car at Salmon Creek Beach watching the largest swell that the Pacific Northwest coast had seen in decades. Tim tapped on my car window and asked if I wanted to go for a walk. We walked down the beach and hiked up Bodega Head. When we looked up, we realized we were standing under a vivid quadruple rainbow going from one end of the earth to the other. It was lightly raining and the sun was shining golden light on the world, and a 20-foot swell crashed on the rocks. To this day, I've never experienced anything like it. We kissed under the rainbow and we were inseparable ever since. 5 years later, we're married with a 2-year-old. Tim has taught me how to tend a fire, how to cook, how to farm, and how to collect spring water trickling out of the mountainside. He's uncovered my biggest fears and neuroticisms in order for them to be released. He's taught me never to take more than I need, how to give thanks to our Creator, and how to take care of my body. He's shown me safety and stability as well as freedom and ecstasy. I am deeply grateful for the lessons that I've received from his love. The spiritual union, though, can be as painful and difficult as it is pleasurable and ecstatic. Tim has shown me many times parts of myself that I never wanted to acknowledge. This mirror, although harsh, has transformed me into the best version of myself. As Khalil Gibran says in The Prophet, "For even as love crowns you, so shall it crucify you. Even as it is for your growth, so is it for your pruning. Even as it ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall it descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn, it gathers you unto itself. It threshes you to make you naked. It sifts you to free you from husks. It grinds you to whiteness. It kneads you until you are pliant. And then it assigns you to its sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, so that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart." In retrospect, I see that one of the biggest obstacles in finding a partner is the fear of what happens when you find your person, for you're bound to lose yourself. To merge completely with another life requires you to annihilate your singularity and to surrender to a union. To fall in love on the sacred path is to die and be reborn. The identity shift can be very intimidating and therefore requires great courage. As Marianne Williamson puts it, it takes courage to endure the sharp pain of self-discovery rather than choose to take the dull pain of unconsciousness that would last the rest of our lives. So here are my top 5 tips on finding a mate. Number 1, first establish yourself irrevocably on the divine path. 2, make courage a regular part of your spiritual practice. 3, In meditation, ask your angels to guide you to your divine partner. 4, let go of all your expectations. 5, never stop walking down that spiritual path. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you all a divine love story.